Hi everybody, so today we're going to do a code trail specifically for the architecture. So the code trails are really kind of, a slice of pizza kind of exercises where you go through a specific logical trail, and it could be code, it could be also kind of engineering diagramming and DevOps, SRE, anything engineering management related as well, where you go from the initial state of the things towards the desired state by using AI Copilot helping you transform the case from being not super great to something really great and satisfying the success criteria. So think of it like if you have a CI/CD process that has some flows and you want to optimize it, and you kind of go through this as a real case, and AI helps you transform it. So let me show you how it works in a nutshell. So I'm going to create a new code trail. I'm going to use the mermaid diagram type, and I'm going to go into the engineering management, and the topic of the trail I would want is to transform basic CI into automated with quality gates and AI tooling. And I would also specify that this is to boost the max product velocity. And I will generate the trail. The trail, after it's going to be generated, is going to have the success criteria. It's going to have the story of what this CI is, for what purpose, and will also have some hints for me to consider when I'm going to be transforming it. My task is going to be to transform it from initial state to the target state to satisfy the quality criteria. And then after I'm done, I'm going to be able to submit the trail for review and receive the feedback on it. So here we have a code trail from manual side to AI-powered automated pipeline is quality gates. And here's the storyline that my engineering team has grown from 8 to 25 engineers, but CI/CD hasn't evolved, and that we currently have basic CI/CD pipeline, and we need to transform it to solve a couple of problems like low quality, reaches the production, and the manual code reviews are the bottleneck. And here's basically the storyline of the thing. And as well as we have the quality criteria. So what we targeting to fix is the automation coverage, the bottleneck elimination, specifically for the code review lead time, which currently, quite impressive. So we target to be less than 4 hours. Yeah, as well as review with AI assistants to get, this going even faster. And the quality gates enforcements, deployment velocity, reliability metrics, and the team independence. And there are learning objectives. So the learning objective for this trail is, as you can see, is to understand the multi-stage CI/CD pipeline with automated quality gates, because current is non-automated, and how to integrate AI-powered code analysis tools, how to fix organization bottlenecks, restructure the DevOps, and some other things, as well as the Conway flow to align team structure with system architecture. And there are a couple of hints. Not all of them are here, so there are first 3 and 3 more available to us. As long as we are ready, we can start coding, and we're going to be in kind of a designer view, and we're going to have our diagram code on the left and the diagram on the right. I will turn on the diagram and I'll go full screen to just to examine what do we have. So we have the engineering organization. Now it's 25 engineers, and we have the engineering manager with 25 direct reports. We have DevOps engineer, we have front-end lead, we have back-end team lead, a lead, and we have DCI, which is current state. So we have Slack used for the bug reports, and developers to write code that goes into the GitHub repo, and then the Jenkins CI pipeline, unit tests, the only quality gate right now, which is, I guess, automated. Then the Docker build and the pull request created. Then the review is going, so 2 developers doing the review. Then once the code review is approved, it goes into the deploy to staging, and then manually deployment is manual. So yeah, this is how it works right now. The manual QA is involved in the deployment, and if things go the way they work, it's pretty slow setup with a lot of manual work. See, we have these key issues for us specified here, like manual code review bottlenecks, manual deployments, no real feedback loops automated, no security scanning, no test coverage gates. Yeah, it's only for the unit tests. No, pretty basic and pretty simple setup. Probably not super great for the team of 25. So let's transform it. And how the transformation works is we can go and fix it with AI, and we can either type the transformation we want to do with this organization, CI, or we can just use hints. And just to speed up the process, I'm going to just completely use the hints this time. But the ideal is to obviously try to deeper understand the setup and just go through the transformation, giving your own thinkings and your own thinking point and fixes that you want to do in order to improve the state. And as we kind of seen from the initial goal, the ultimate goal is to automate, inject AI into CD, remove the bottlenecks, and generally build the CI process that suits the needs of the 25-person team. So let's start with mapping the process end-to-end, where the manual steps, and let's just apply this and go through all of the hints that we've got, and you're going to be able to see how we transform the CI process into to-be state, which has a much better shape and much better readiness to serve this team of 25. As we're going to be executing the steps, we can also always compare. So we have the mapping added, and now we see the diagram changed. We can also do kind of a comparison. When on the left, you're going to see the previous step diagram. This is where we started. This is where we are. And let's zoom in. Let's see what do we have here. What do we have added? how it looks right now. So we have the developer writes code, then push to Git happens, then CI, then the stage 1 fast feedback. We have the unit tests, SAS scanning, analysis. Then if it's all passed, it's a good thing that it's parallelized, so it's going in parallel. This is really good. Then we have all fast checks passed. If no, then this PR is rejected and it goes back to the developer. So it all starts with the push to GitHub, and then the thing happens here. If it satisfies the criteria, then there's a build happening, then the performance baseline is collected, the Docker build happening, then if this overall perf check is fine, usually the perf happens afterwards because it's way more expensive than this basic stuff checks. Then we have the build, performance okay, then if not, again, it's rejected. If it's okay, then it's a human review, because yeah, this thing, it's automated, so it's cost us less in our spent of the precious team. So it's great to have it done before the actual human review happens, so the senior developer. We don't have a lot of senior developers in the teams, their time's obviously very valuable. Then, AI provide context helps the senior developer to actually do the code review. And once it's approved, it auto-merged and deployed, and then deployed to production, or, could be staging, whatever is kind of the next step for it. So let's see, we still have a bottlenecks. So there are bottlenecks and solutions here. So we have blocking issue, manual code review, and solution automate gates senior reviewers only after architecture. Yeah, that's basically like pre-step before they review, which helps save their time and give the developers early feedback. And yeah, there are velocity matrices, and other stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna just go into my full view, and I'm also gonna zoom in here. So yeah, this is the state before, and this is the organization that we have right now. So we definitely need to see if we can improve it further. Let's go and let's do fix with the AI. This time use the quality gate shifting left. And this is what actually been done in this step that was fixed by AI for us. So I think what we can change this is to really add clear coverage, like metrics and gates for coverage for pass, no pass metrics and gates such as. And let's apply it. So it's going to be in a diagram, and we're going to clearly see, okay, so where's this thresholds that we're going to use in order to allow or not allow code to travel from developer to further down the stream. And after that, we'll take a look on the other hints. The usual thing is that, obviously with this CI, it's ideally also to look at the different role assignments. If you have, let's say, code review, then can we have a code review guild and stuff? Okay, so we have now added a couple of things. So we have the quality gates, pass, no pass, the security gate, performance gate, code coverage gate, and the velocity metrics updated. So let's now improve even further. Let's use this hint that engineers have been used to quality check machine. What is the only reviewer? Okay, design the code review as an async learning discussion, not a bottleneck. How does the code analysis help here? Okay, let's try this one. I'm not going to change it just for the sake of this exercise. I'm not going to give my own opinion. I'm going to just use the hints. And when you have really limited time and you want to have the external vision of how things can actually be improved, also helpful to just execute the hints and see how the overall process could change for the better, not by your own instructions, but actually seeing how it can evolve on its own with what the AI thinks would work best. And it's also a great learning opportunity just to see how it could actually work with some alternative opinions of not just yours. So let's see how it's going to work for us this time. Okay, so it's redesigned stage 3 from serial gatekeeping async discussion. Okay, senior preview PRs on an async board on their own pace and focus on architectural decisions. Added new AI code review enhancement section explaining how AI unblocks seniors and converts. So AI is injected right now. Let's see how it changed. So we have, let me zoom out to see the whole architecture. So obviously the changes happen somewhere here. So let's see, we've had the code reviews here, and we have the AI auto-generated review context right now. So as we kind of do the initial checks, and these checks are fine, we go into AI enriched review, which is a learning discussion, not just gatekeeping. And we have here a couple of new things added. So we have auto-generating review context, deep analysis, architecture impact assessment, similar code, pattern detection. So it's kind of, on top of our classic checks, also AI checks, how this change is going to work for us. And then we have async review board, where senior developers review on their schedule, no blocking PRs accumulate. And then we have the senior architects review, focus on design architecture. So this unloads them, because I think obviously it's twofold kind of thing. First, they need to spend time reviewing the PRs from developers, just don't block them and give the flow kind of throughput. On the other end, they also coding and they contributing, and their contribution is also really important. So they need to have their own flow time, and they concentrate on the things and they just do their work. So this async is really powerful. And we also injected AI to really help them be productive. So obviously, when they have time to do reviews, when they decide to do it, with help of AI, they do it way faster. And then, it's a proof with comments. It goes in again into deploy, and it works like this. Let us also continue. Let's see what is here. So your DevOps engineer is drowning. What's your created platform team that owns CI/CD as a product and builds self-service tools? Existing engineers deploy their own code. After automation will taste it. How does this shift the work structure? So this is really good suggestion to have a platform team. Obviously, when the team is super small, like up to 10 people, it's probably not a really big need for that. But as we move into a larger size, let's say this is 25, so obviously at some moment of time, there's going to be a cross-functional team set up with multiple teams, and have platform teams for DevOps and QAs is really what makes sense. So let's go with this, and let's go with the DevOps. But since the CI/CD is really focused on delivering the highest quality of code possible with the highest and obviously optimal speed, we also have to think about QA. And probably our next step would be to also add QA guild and QA kind of injecting into this platform, serving the whole organization. The QA will obviously own the quality gates on the CI as well as the quality framework, which developers and individual QAs leverage in their teams to build the tests. So let's do that. And obviously after that we can add also a functional quality gates with automation into CI. But let's start with DevOps. Let's do the DevOps thing. So now we have added comprehensive platform team as a product, showing self-service CI tools, team autonomous layer showing how engineers deploy dependently, and the platform team moves from 40% firefighting to more like building immutable tooling, and it also helps with the Conway flow, ensures that dependent shipping of the code can happen. Let's see what we have here. So again, I'm going to zoom out and just see what do we have here. So we have obviously changes down here, and we have a platform team which owns CI and builds self-service tool for kind of deployments and performance baseline configuration and security, and all of this brings the team autonomy in terms that they start to depend less on individuals but using the tools that the team is using to build this whole setup. And this team autonomy is based on the platform team, which is C4 engineers, and yeah, this helps a lot. What we're going to do next is let's add a team org chart depicting our teams, which are guild-like teams, cross-functional, with devs and QAs, and leveraging the platform teams. Add QA platform team, which would help DevOps build and own quality gates, build and own QA automation framework, and what's most important, they would be building and owning the pre-production functional automated quality gates. So let's add that. And with that, we're going to have a platform team, which is going to be two pieces, the DevOps and the QAs. And they're going to be shared among our guild teams, which are cross-functional. So the skills can release independently. And we have the product velocity contribution in the teams, as well as we have platform teams who's going to be building the effective tools for the rest of the organization to depend less on people, but really use repetitive, successful processes in CI, which are probably going to be first step semi-automated, and then they're going to be automated, and it's going to be able to build even next more sophisticated version when we're going to be able to inject the metric collection and the observability framework into CI. Let's see if we can do that as the next step. In the meantime, when it's going to be ready, let's see if it structures this platform teams well. Oh, it says it cannot apply. Let's see. Let's try again. Sometimes, when we try to build the instruction, it's not always work from the first attempt. It's quite, as the diagrams become quite complicated, but, it's not a problem. Let's just re-attempt to do the thing. Let's see if it's going to work this time. And this could be also a cutting edge when the diagram gets broken. It's also not a big deal, as the diagram, in case it's just get broken, there's also a button to fix it. So you can always, if that's the situation, you can attempt to fix it. Okay, so this time we've added a platform team, 2-3 engineers, dedicate responsibilities. This is exactly what we wanted. And let's just zoom out and see where we stand on the thing. So we have the team organization engine, and we have now the backend guild cross-functional, the front-end guild cross-functional, and then we have this kind of working in the setups, and then we have a platform team which has the platform tech lead, and it has CI/CD structure and dev tooling, and we have the QA platform team on top. Let's see what else do we have, and we have the cross-team platform team working on this thing, and yeah, so that's our team organization, and let's us do the next thing. So fix with AI, and let's say, okay, now let's bring our automated CI diagram view back on the diagram. so that we have, again, visibility of our CI flow, which, depends on this team setup. And then we can see how it works together. The particular thing that I would also change here is I would really split the guilds not into the backend and front end. I would rather build, or try to build kind of a cross function where, the guild would have the front end, the back end, the QAs, everything needed to kind of release the feature end to end. So let's just transform it and let's see, how it's going to work. Okay, so we have our process back, and we have the thing that we've built so far. Okay, so this thing is now need to change a little bit in terms of the code review and the platform team involvement. But before we do that, I'm going to fix with AI, and I'm going to say, let's reformat our teams to be cross-functional and have front, back, and QA in every team to be able to deliver features independently. So let's do that. And then let's all of it together inject into our enhanced CI. So let's see how this is going to work. And then let's get back to our CI process. So this is all kind of a long CI, right? Team structure. But it's also important because part of this quality criteria, we have to work with the Conway law, which is basically has to deal with the team structure and the architecture of the product. So let's do that. So we have first, second, and third cross-functional feature teams, each have their own tech lead, the front and the back, and a QA embedded in the team. We have the platform team, which has CI/CD ownership, which has the quality gates ownership and the DevOps tools ownership. And let's see what do we have else. So this is the framework, the feature teams definition, the Conway law thing. So we have the team's autonomy now, and we have some SDLC process improvements. Let's see on the CI side of things. Okay, so now I think with this, the only question I have is, so this platform team, it has the platform tech lead, and the ownership is CI/CD, the quality gates, which is obviously the QA part of thing, and the DevOps tooling. So right now, let's see, what do we have as this? So we have actually the whole thing works now with the clearly defined quality gate. So it has, as the kind of code travels, we have a stage first, which is a parallel automated checks. Then depending on pass, not pass, it goes in a second stage, which is performance gate. Then the second stage, if it's passed, then the third stage goes into automated end-to-end tests, and then goes the pre-prod tests, which are AI-enriched tests. So this is obviously a functional test. And then goes the AI to generate review context, diff analytics and stuff, and tech lead actually review the stuff. So I think what need to happen at this tech lead review need to happen, like, I think this is all right. I don't know how much time this is going to take and resources, but it seems to be all right. The only thing is that once they review, the code has to merge and it has to be rechecked one more time. So let's fix that. So let's say once the code review is approved, we need to have a step to integrate and check again for all tests and functional automated included plus manual smoke test before we release code into pre-prod. Let's do that. So we're gonna just extend this into more real life kind of setup when we need to move, not just on this initial stage, but once we have the code review done. Again, there could be parallel work streams because we have independent teams. So it's 4 of them which are contributing. So it's one code review happens, another code review happens. Now the code gets merged and integrated. So we need to do all of the tests again because after the merge, obviously, things might actually, start to work differently. So let's also add that. And if everything works okay, then we obviously can do the smoke test and just have that code going into the pre-production. When it's going to go into production, it's a good question. Let's see. So we have this code review. Then we have post-merge integration, which does the integration tests, manual smoke tests, and we also have post-merge smoke test, passed, unpassed. And basically, if it's all good, then deploy to production or pre-production, whatever is, if you can deploy to production. If you do continuous delivery, then, it goes to production. So the one thing that we also want to add, we want to add observability into CI to be able to collect, understand metrics for DORA. It's not bad because when we're going to have observability added, obviously we're going to see how things work, what works, what's not, and compare the deployments in terms of being able to understand whether they're successful or not, probably even before the actual user kind of submits the defects or critical issues or anything. So let's see how this is going to be working on our overall diagram. And I think we'll check also this kind of a hint suggestion, and if nothing too critical there, we'll just submit. So I'll show you how the actual review works and the feedback works. Let's give it a go. Okay, so now we have the observability added. So we have the metrics collection, and we have the DORA metrics associated with the metrics, and we have the involvement of different stages into this metrics. So this is good. And let's also see what were the suggested. Yeah, so this is DORA, this is what we did. And inverse convey. Now this is what we did, but we have now, kind of independent cross-functional teams. So I think we're good. Let's now submit and see the feedback on our diagram. So we've been executing 11 steps, and we've been traveling from the state, which is this one, when we had kind of simplistic view of the things and a lot of manual work, not a lot of quality gates, and we evolved it through the execution of the enhancements through multiple steps towards our ultimate goal, which is the current state. And it evolved into more sophisticated kind of team setup with the platform team, with CI/CD, which is built with the platform team, has quality gates, has clearly defined quality stages, and has a full pipeline with a lot of automations and involving the precious senior developers' time only at the stage, and an async process also boosted with AI to help us overall ensure that their time used wisely, and we have the max possible throughput, thus the product velocity. So let's now complete the trial and submit it for the review. And once we're going to get the review, there's going to be things that did well, that we did well. As always, there's going to be feedback. And this feedback is not like 100% to execute. This is more kind of to see a different observations and vantage points over the process that we've built and how it can be improved or diversified further for different situations. And you can always go back and open the completed trail to see the steps you executed and how it transformed for you. So you could, just one more time replay for yourself what was happening there. As well as you can share the trail with anybody to also attempt to work with it, to give it a try and transform it on their own. Okay, so we have 83 as a score, which is great, but could be better. So we have key of the things that we've achieved according to our changes, as well as we have growth opportunities. So a couple of things related to the rollback triggers that we haven't used. We haven't built anything for Canary blue-green deployments. The dependency we sort of haven't addressed. We could actually add to the diagram, kind of dependency visibility and things that would help the teams go a little bit more independent, and some other things related to how to improve it further. There's also criteria breakdown, and on all of the criteria that we've had, starting from automation towards the reliability metrics, we scored not bad. Some of them have higher score, some lower score. So obviously we could improve things if we would be adding a little bit more information, but directionally we did okay job with this one. And there's also an evolution of our steps, the instructions, how AI built our diagram from the initial stage towards the ultimate state, as well as we can always go back and see how diagram transformed over time. So we're currently on our current kind of a final submitted state, but yeah, it's always possible to kind of cross compare and see from step by step how this whole thing changed. For instance, on the very last step, we were adding this metrics piece, which didn't exist in the previous state. So yeah, you can always go and cross check and trace back the evolution of your thinking and the instructions that we were giving. So this is how the code trail for process and architecture works. There are different types of code trails that you can create. You can go with any language. For the diagram, in my suggestion, go with Mermaid. And yeah, you can go with architecture, requirements, system design, cloud, all of the different things, including the general engineering management, as well as SDLC and DevOps. And if you have a topic which does not fall in any of this, you can use the other process architecture and just clearly specify what kind of situation you want to play with this specific code trail. And if you want, you can also use some of our predefined themes. So you can go with coding, which has quite sophisticated things here on different languages. You can go with architecture and cloud, the engineering management things, as well as you can go with the I'm feeling lucky, where you can generate yourself a code trails based on the criteria that you have for it. You can also go with the Easter egg mode, which will generate you kind of a trail suggestions with Easter egg, so you won't see it until you kind of have a trail ready, which helps you get kind of a little bit of spontaneous code trails to execute and play with them, not in a mode where you kind of give it focus, but you get it randomized, thus sometimes more interesting. Hope you enjoyed this short demo, and hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.